Hello, this is a recording of a live session from Spark 2021. We hope you enjoy it.
Hello and welcome to Spark 2021 Ignite. Thank you for logging in to kick off the conference with us this morning. I'm speaking to you from one of our venues, the Royal Spa Centre, which, like the majority of theatres across the UK, has been dark and empty since March. This time last year, I launched a new creative framework, a growth strategy from the district's creative sector, right here in the main auditorium of the Spa Centre at our first ever Spark conference. We created Spark as a way to bring the district's creative community together and to provide the platform you deserve. We wanted to give you an opportunity to connect with people, celebrate creativity in the area together, and ignite new collaborations. Spark 2020 exceeded all of our expectations and attracted incredibly positive feedback. For those of you that were able to take part, I hope you felt that we achieved what we set out to do. What Spark showed was that in early 2020, it felt like Warwick District's creative sector was on the rise. There had been a huge momentum building for a number of years, and we were on the crest of a wave. The programme was packed with inspiring examples of creative projects and initiatives from all over the region, and well over 300 people took part in Spark. And then, suddenly in March, only a few weeks after Spark, the country was locked down, and we've all been on this journey ever since. We've all been hit hard, and for some of us, this has been the most difficult year of our professional lives. But I'm not going to mention the C word today, as we've already said it enough this year. In a moment, I'll invite the leader of Warwick District Council to say a few words about the challenges that we've all faced over the last year, how we've responded, how we will recover, and what may lay ahead. Our team knew that it would be difficult to deliver Spark 2021 under less than ideal circumstances with significant budget and resourcing challenges. We know it will be impossible to generate the same inspiring buzz and energy we felt during the conference in 2020. And on top of that, we're all feeling a bit worn out by online meetings, digital conferences, and talking to screens like this. And perhaps one positive to come out of all of this is that each and every one of us now truly appreciates how vitally important live, shared cultural experiences are to our community. To be honest, we weren't certain that we should even attempt Spark this year. But having spoken to members of our creative community over the past few months, we also know there is a high demand for a local event that can attract a wider audience. I also believe that now more than ever, we all need to be reminded of how incredible and unique our creative community is. There's never been a more needed time for us to get together and support each other. We hope that the conference will assist with the recovery, promotion, and growth of the sector. But we also hope that it will energize you, inspire you, and reinvigorate you. We are all in this together, and we all have so much to share and talk about. We should not let a little thing like a global pandemic get in the way. We're holding the conference over a week this time, so that delegates and speakers can have the opportunity to dip in and out and not be stuck in front of a screen for long periods of time. It also gives Team Spark at the HQ a realistic chance of juggling the technology and the sessions that we all have planned. But please remember that Spark is a conference, not just another webinar series. We are keen to provide you with a range of opportunities throughout the week to try and help you to showcase what you do, find answers and support, share your experiences, and connect with other creatives. Like you, we've attended some amazing and also truly awful online networking events over lockdown. We don't expect you to attend everything in our programme, but we would encourage you to try and be digitally present and engage with the speakers and other delegates as much as you can. If you haven't already, take a moment to download the free conference app, which makes all of this a lot easier. To get the most out of the week, Make sure that you update your profile and keep dropping into the community forums and virtual booths to carry on those conversations between sessions. Like many others, Team Spark has had to adapt to the way we work this year, learning new skills as we go. This is our first ever virtual event, and we've done everything we can to ensure it's a success. But please be patient with us if we do hit the odd bump along the way. We fully appreciate that there will be a few technical hiccups, including the inevitable "you're on mute," drop signals, and perhaps even a few cat filters thrown in by mistake. If this happens, please bear with us and we will let you know what's going on through the app. Now, before I hand over to the leader to say a few words, can I thank in advance all of our incredible speakers, artists, exhibitors, and contributors who have all made Spark possible. Once again, it is our creative community who have informed what the Spark programme should be. And once again, every single person we approach to get involved has stepped forward to do so without hesitation. Thank you to all of you. Thanks also goes to Hoover, the conference app we are using to host Spark. They have charted a new path through this virtual world so that we didn't have to. And my special thanks to Coventry University, our primary sponsor for Spark, who have helped us pay for that technology. You can learn more about the exciting work that the university are doing in their session on Wednesday. I also need to heap praise on my fantastic team who have worked so hard for months to deliver Spark to you under the most difficult of circumstances. Although we deliver a huge amount of activity, the arts team is actually very small. So thank you for everything they have done and will do during the week ahead. To Bronwyn Alsop for hosting the speakers and facilitating the sessions, to Chris Jones for his technical production support and streaming know-how, to Kai Pittman for helping to make sure everything works smoothly, to Carol Slight for doing her usual excellent job of connecting the dots, and of course to our projects and development manager, Jonathan Branson, for pulling the programme together and becoming Mr. Spark for the last 8 weeks. And lastly, thanks to you for watching this and attending Spark 2021. This week is for you, so please do spread the word and help us promote it as much as you can. I will now hand over to the leader of Warwick District Council, Councillor Day, and the portfolio holder for Housing and Culture, Councillor Mateki. Councillor Day, thank you.
Thanks, David, and welcome everybody to Spark 2021. I also had the privilege of standing on the stage at the Royal Spa Centre last February to open our first Spark conference, and I'm very happy to be able to do so again, albeit under different circumstances and in fact from the comfort of my own home. I regret that we can't all be together today, but we've had to get used to meeting like this, haven't we? I don't even know how to turn filters on, so you'll be relieved to hear that there are no cats likely to appear here. There's no getting away from the fact, though, that since the last Spark conference, it's been a very challenging time for us all. The impact of the pandemic on our communities has been widespread, and I do recognise that for our creative organisations in particular, they have been really hard hit by COVID. I think it's so important that events like this continue and that we do everything that we can to support the recovery of the sector. I agree with David that it's more important than ever that just now we're reminded of the value of our creative industries have to offer, and particularly in this wonderful district. Lockdown has had a major impact on us all. Overnight, it forced our creative sector to change how and where they worked, with venues and public spaces being forced to close so much of the year. Our cultural organisations have had to adapt how they can connect with their audiences and artists, and have had to think imaginatively about how to deliver their art. However, even though they've been unable to do what they love and have had to face significant challenges, our cultural organisations have proven once again that they are not only creative, but also agile and resilient. I've seen the most amazing things happen in the last 12 months, and I'll run you through, if I may, just a couple of examples to illustrate my point. Firstly, Heartbreak Theatre Productions, as you know, based in Leamington, made the transition from being a leading outdoor theatre producer to an indoor online producer with The Lockdown Stories. a series of young people's lockdown stories turned into short films and broadcast live. They were also one of the few theatre companies able to pull off an outdoor performance last year, showing Alice in Lockdown to a socially distanced audience. Then there's Playbox Theatre over in Warwick, where they developed the Phoenix Project, which was created to ensure that their contact with young people was not only maintained, but actually advanced during lockdown. This included nightly storytelling and related activities for young families and weekly debates involving Playbox alumni, such as the actress Sophie Turner. A Monaco consort, also in Warwick, have brought their choral music to care homes in the area and have streamed their performances online. Leamington Music have kept playing on and were able to sneak in a few socially distant concerts in Holy Trinity Church and the Dream Factory before we were all locked down once again. Live and Local, again based in Warwick, launched Blockbusters, Lockbusters, where they collated packs of DVDs based on certain themes which were sent out to communities, along with a film journal for participants to write their thoughts and pass it along to the next person. Warwickshire Open Studios and the Art in the Park Festival switched their festivals to take place online and had continuous art, music and workshops and weekends of creativity, as did the Warwickshire Heritage Open Days programme. Always a boundary breaker, Alan Heap from Purple Monster formed an innovative partnership with Heartbreak and Noisegate Studios during the first lockdown. They were one of the first to embrace digital conferencing, and they've been doing this sort of things for months now. It's truly amazing how resilient and adaptable all these companies have been over the last year, and how quickly they have shifted to produce work online. I know just how tough it is for you. We all feel your absence dearly, and our towns are poorer without you doing what you do best. I was particularly impressed with Chris and Martina from Creative Leamington, who have run Creative Mornings in Leamington for the past year. They quickly made the switch to online events to keep the creative conversations going. I was fascinated by their Frontline project, a digital encapsulation of personal pandemic stories from frontline workers. I was lucky enough to also be able to visit Paint in the Yard, a collaboration with Brink Contemporary Arts, to see the large-scale frontline mural designed by Danny Coyne in real life. And I was also able to witness the reimagining of Spencer's Yard, which is now full of colour and vibrant street art. Chris and Martina also established LYT, Leamington Young Talent, and created a unique online pop-up window shopping experiment in the Royal Priors. And finally, even under lockdown, I'm glad to say that we're able to press on with our plans to convert the Assembly Hall in Leamington Town Hall into a new creative space and a home for Motion House. This space will provide additional opportunities for Motion House to share its work and creativity with local people. I know that they have an extensive tour planned this year and big ambitions for 2022. And I believe that Louise Richards, their CEO, will be talking about her experiences of lockdown and the impact of Brexit in the season following right after this. So stay tuned for that, of course. What I hope these examples illustrate to you is just how strong and diverse our local creative sector was before the pandemic hit us. And this is why I'm convinced that they will make it through this and continue to grow. I'm very optimistic, in fact, and excited that Warwick District is the place where creativity will and continue to thrive. There are some major developments in the pipeline to help support this, with private and public sector investment already helping to shape our creative environment. The work that Nigel has already done at number 1 Mill Street is absolutely inspiring, and we shall hopefully add another hub for creative soon by developing the Town Hall as part of the Council's successful Future High Streets Fund bid. And let's not forget the plans for Leamington's Creative Quarter are at last coming to fruition, and we expect that project to rejuvenate the south of Leamington over the coming years. The district is also working hard to make the nation's next big sporting event, the Commonwealth Games, a huge success in Leamington and Warwick in 2022, which will include a wraparound cultural program, which we will all benefit from and hopefully enjoy. Of course, all of this is underpinned and supported by the aims of the creative framework that David and his team launched here just last year, and the newly established Creative Compact, who will help us drive forward to meet our creative ambitions. But before I officially open the conference, I would like to ask Councillor Matetsky to say a few words about our own response to the pandemic. Councillor Matetsky.
Thank you, Leader. Can I start by saying that I also appreciate being invited to speak at the opening of Spark. I want to say a big thank you to David and his team, who have worked tremendously hard to put on this event. The imagination and technical challenges of staging a conference such as this remotely are far greater than holding it physically. As some of you may know, I've only been the Council's portfolio holder for culture for a few weeks, but I'm already impressed with the quality of creative talent we have based right here in the district. I just wanted to give you all a brief illustration of how tough it has been for cultural organisations during the pandemic by using our own facilities as an example. The Royal Spa Centre was forced to close its doors at very short notice, just before the rest of us were locked down, as theatres were one of the first types of cultural venues required to close by government. The Art Gallery and Museum and the Town Hall were closed very shortly afterwards. The arts team have worked hard to work non-stop to reschedule or cancel the 1,500 or so events, performances, film screenings and workshops that were booked into the venues between March and later this year. Many members of the arts team were also redeployed to assist with the council's response to the pandemic, helping to facilitate the Shielding Hub food parcel deliveries, helping to distribute benefits to local residents, and acting as town centre COVID hosts. Happily, we were able to partially reopen Leamington Spa Museum and Art Gallery to the public in July. However, this obviously had to be done in a COVID-safe, socially distanced manner, and the team have spent many hours reading through the sector-specific COVID guidance and installing the appropriate measures for the buildings. Although we were unable to run our usual engagement events in the gallery spaces, the learning and engagement team have also adapted and were quick to create a series of online workshops so that families could continue to take part online. These have been incredibly successful and opened up a whole new audience for the gallery. Our staff have also had to adapt to new ways of working in order to keep themselves and our visitors safe from COVID. They have done an exceptional job of this whilst maintaining their enthusiasm and good humour. Even during this most difficult of times, the feedback we have received from visitors about their experience has been absolutely exceptional. Unfortunately, the gallery was closed again with the latest lockdown and has remained so throughout. However, our team are still busy planning an exciting programme of exhibitions, workshops, performances and lectures for later in the year. So when we are able to reopen, it will be with a bang. I know that many of you will have faced similar challenges, suddenly having to develop knowledge of the latest COVID guidance and trying to find a way through so that you may reopen your creative business safely. I sympathise greatly with all the efforts you have put into this. Thank you.